You sit on the edge of the bed, phone face down on the nightstand. You haven't texted first in 4 days, maybe 5. And for the first time in the entire relationship, you're not fighting the urge to reach out. You're just letting it be. And something shifts. Because for the first time, they feel the distance, and they don't know what to do with it. You hear their footsteps in the hallway. You hear them pick up their phone, then put it down. You hear them sit closer to you at dinner, and when you don't lean in, you feel them panic quietly, internally, in a way they would never, ever admit out loud. And your brain whispers, why do I feel guilty for finally giving myself what they never could? Right now, you think you gave up because you ran out of love. You're wrong. You didn't run out of love. You ran out of waiting for someone who couldn't meet you halfway. And the moment you stopped waiting, their entire system collapsed. You're not failing at love. You're not cold. You're not too much or too needy. You're just finally refusing to keep loving someone who only let you love them on their terms. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what happens inside an avoidant partner the moment you stop chasing, and why the version of them that shows up next might be the truest one yet. Let's get into it. Most people believe that giving up on an avoidant partner is the end of the story. That once you stop initiating, stop being the bigger person, stop tolerating the hot-cold dynamic, the relationship simply fades into the past like it never mattered. But the real truth is, that's the moment the avoidant's entire emotional architecture is tested for the first time. Here's the part the relationship advice world hasn't told you. Avoidant attachment isn't a personality flaw. It's a nervous system that learned early on that closeness is dangerous, that vulnerability gets punished, that love always eventually turns into control or abandonment. So they built walls. They mastered distance. They learned how to be present without ever actually being present. And for years, that system worked. As long as someone was still trying. As long as someone was still calling. As long as someone was still initiating repairs after every silent treatment, every defection, every sideways glance that said, "Don't come closer." Your consistency, ironically, became the very thing that let them stay avoidant. But the moment you stop, when the phone stays quiet, when the dinner conversation stays surface level, when you don't initiate the repair for the first time in the entire relationship, their nervous system sends up a flare that reads as pure threat. Not because they want to lose you, but because in their deepest wiring, withdrawal means something is wrong. And they have no idea what to do with the wrong feeling, except panic. And that panic, predictable, observable, almost clinical in how precisely it unfolds, happens in 5 distinct stages. This is the stage most people miss entirely. Because on the outside, nothing looks different. They tell themselves a story. They just need space. They always come back. This is their pattern. They said they'd text later. They're probably just busy. They'll reach out when they're ready. And here's what you don't see. Internally, their nervous system is doing something very specific. It's running the script it's always run. Dismiss, minimize, wait it out. This is the stage where the avoidant leans fully into their protection strategy. They scroll past your silence like it's nothing. They tell their friends, "She's just emotional right now," or "He always does this, it'll pass." Most couples in this dynamic never realize they were actually standing at the beginning of a seismic shift, because the avoidance surface looks completely unchanged. But beneath the surface, something very small is happening. A tiny flicker. The first time they check their phone and you haven't texted, their chest does something unfamiliar. They won't name it. They can't name it. But it's the first crack in the wall. A real conversation between these two versions of your partner might sound like this. The dismissing version. "They're probably just tired. I've got stuff to do anyway. We were never that serious." The honest version said to themselves at 2 a.m., "Why haven't they texted? It's been 2 days. That's weird. Actually weird." And here's what changes everything. That tiny 2 a.m. question is the first time they've admitted, even to themselves, that your presence matters. That distance is uncomfortable. That you've become the variable they didn't know they needed. Now things get interesting. Because the dismissal doesn't hold. It can't. Their nervous system was built to handle distance, but you've made distance feel different. You didn't leave. You didn't blow up. You didn't guilt trip them. You just stopped trying. And that's the one move their playbook doesn't have a defense for. So they start watching. They check your social media. They look at when you were last online. They notice if you posted a story without them in it. They read into the tone of your last message like it's a code. They might even casually text you something completely unrelated, Did you see the game last night? Or what are you doing this weekend? Pretending to be casual while internally dissecting every word you send back. Their brain is quietly registering, something feels wrong, and I can't put my finger on it. The real emotional truth behind this stage is that they're experiencing a kind of cognitive dissonance they've never had to sit with before. They've spent their whole adult life being the one who controlled the emotional temperature of the relationship, pulling away when things got too close, leaning in just enough to keep you hooked. And now the temperature is being set by someone else, by you. And that loss of control registers as threat. What's happening inside them right now? They posted without me. Are they talking to someone else? No, stop. They're just posting. But why haven't they texted? What they're not saying to you out loud, I think I might have pushed them too far this time. And when they finally text something that sounds casual, but is actually a reach, that's not coincidence, bro. That's their nervous system asking for confirmation that the connection is still there. That's them, for the first time, turning toward you instead of away. This is the stage where something almost unbelievable happens. They call. They text first. They ask how you're feeling. They apologize, maybe for the first time, really apologize for something they did 2 months ago that they previously dismissed. They might even tell you they've been thinking about things. They suddenly want to plan a trip. They bring up a memory. They reference a future together like it's a given. And your brain goes, wait, where has this person been for the last 6 months? This is the stage where their long-buried longing breaks through the surface, and they can't control it anymore. They've spent weeks monitoring you, watching you not chase, feeling the heat of your indifference. And finally, the dam cracks. The deeper truth here is this. Avoidants don't change because they finally understand why they were distant. They change because the cost of staying distant suddenly became unbearable.
The pain of losing you has finally exceeded the pain of closeness. And that is what it takes to move a wall that's been cemented since childhood. What they're saying on the surface, I just wanted to check in. I've been meaning to call. We should do something this weekend. What their inner voice is actually running. I can't believe I almost lost this. Why did I wait this long? Why did I let them walk away? I need them to know I'm different now. And here's the part most couples don't realize. This is not the moment to celebrate. This is not the moment to relax. This is the moment to gently, quietly, with nervous system level safety, test whether this surge is real change or just another way of pulling you back into the cycle. Now we get to the deepest stage, the one almost no one talks about. If you stay consistent and don't immediately melt back into the role of comforter, rescuer, or forgiver, something happens inside the avoidant that they have no language for. They start questioning themselves, not in a healthy way, not in a therapy way, in an existential, the floor is moving way. Because for the first time in their life, the pattern has broken. The person who used to chase, used to forgive, used to soften every edge, has stopped. And the absence of that person reveals something terrifying. They don't know who they are without the role of the one being pursued. Most people in relationships don't recognize this stage because the avoidant rarely shows it outwardly. They might spiral privately. They might call a friend. They might suddenly start questioning their own past relationships, their own patterns, their own capacity for love. They might look in the mirror and feel like a stranger. The surface level behavior you'll see. Yeah, things are fine. We're fine. What's actually moving through them? Was I ever really able to love someone? Did I waste years pushing away the one person who was actually safe? What is wrong with me? And that's the moment, bro. Right there. When something is either going to break open or close down forever. That's the moment an avoidant either becomes aware of their pattern and starts doing the slow, terrifying work of dismantling it, or panics, withdraws, blames, and tells themselves the relationship was never going to work anyway. This is where their childhood wiring is screaming at full volume. You're here. You've held steady. You've waited for real change, not just a surge of fear-driven closeness. And now, the avoidant is standing at a fork in the road they've never had to face. One direction is healing. It's them saying, quietly, I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't know how to be different, but I want to try. I want you to know what I'm working on. I want to stop being the one who makes you feel alone in a room with me. It's slow. It's imperfect. It requires them to stay in the discomfort of being close while their nervous system says retreat. They will stumble. They will get overwhelmed. But they will choose you, imperfectly, clumsily, in the moments that matter. The other direction is confession. It's them saying, through words or actions, I love you, but I don't know how to be in this. I can't give you what you need. I tried and I'm still the same. I'm sorry. And that is heartbreaking, but it is also honest. And sometimes honesty, even when it hurts, is the most loving thing a person who isn't ready can offer you. The avoiding version, even at the end, I just need more time. Don't push me. I'm not ready to talk about this. The stepping forward version, I don't want to be the person I was with you. I want to learn how to show up, even if I don't know how yet. And here's what changes everything. The avoidant who finally chooses forward is not suddenly fixed. They're not suddenly healed. They're just finally, for the first time, willing to stop protecting themselves at the cost of losing you. That's not perfection. That's the beginning of becoming someone they were always capable of being if the conditions were finally safe enough. Here's what I really want you to take away from this. This isn't a checklist. It's not a strategy for winning your avoidant back. It's an invitation to stop abandoning yourself, waiting for someone who doesn't yet have the tools to show up for you. When you internalize this, genuinely internalize this, you stop chasing. You stop shrinking. You stop convincing. And you start holding space for whatever honesty eventually shows up, without losing yourself in the waiting. Because here's the thing, real intimacy doesn't start when you find the right person. It starts the moment you stop waiting for them to become the right person and decide that you are no longer available for anything less than their honest, full, scared, imperfect love.
The relationship you want starts the moment you stop waiting for it to get better and decide to be what makes it better, while refusing to be the only one doing the work.